it became what it needed to become, and I'm okay with that. Um, I'm in that period of valleys right now,
Mm-hmm.
which usually always happens after the holiday season because people take their breaks, they redefine who they are, they redefine what they want their brand to be.
Right.
So sometimes it takes a minute for them to figure that out. Behind the scenes, we still work together to
Mm-hmm.
get that idea, but the actual act of recording sometimes
Mm-hmm.
may take a little bit. So I got a lot of shows that are coming back right now. They're slowly getting back on track.
Mm-hmm.
New ones always come up, but with new shows, you got to be really cautious with them because you got to one make sure that the vision that they're doing is
Mm-hmm.
a long term sustainable vision. Because you'll
Okay.
have some people that'll come in, they was like, "Hey, I want to do a podcast. I want to start a podcast,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Okay, but why a podcast?" It's usually my first question I always ask them, because depending on what you want to say or what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
with the avenues of going live on Facebook or Instagram, creating a YouTube channel, um, getting your followers up and using TikTok, all of these different visual avenues exist now that didn't exist before.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you now looking more towards doing a podcast? Because even though podcast is visual now,
Mm-hmm.
the audio aspect is really what makes a podcast what it is. Being able to log on to your Apple Music or onto the Spotify app itself, or even this day and age, you can go to Audible and get podcasts directly on your same favorite, book listening application.
Mm-hmm.
That hits different than visual. So a lot of times I try to figure out for them what their ideal is. And I have some shows that do want to be strictly visual only, but they don't
Gotcha.
really want to be a podcast. They want to be more so of a show.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you have to handle those shows a little bit differently because your intention is not for replay value of those episodes. Your intentions is blink and you miss it. So you
Mm-hmm.
may have a situation where somebody come in and they're there for that moment, and then your followers or your viewership and all of that really matters, and that's
Gotcha.
cool. And like
Mm-hmm.
it's cool. It's just in the beginning we got to figure out what do you want, like what do you want out of what you're doing, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get you there, but I need to make sure when I sit down and I'm like, okay, this is the roadmap to get you from point A to point B. It has to make sense to you.
Right.
Because I can easily say, okay, this is how you do a podcast. This is what you need to do. This is here. And here we are 5 episodes later. And you'd be like, well, I don't want to do this no more because this is not what I thought.
Mm.
Well, this is what you said you wanted a podcast. This is what you do to get to a podcast. In actuality, it's not that you wanted a podcast. You wanted a visual show. You wanted a professional, clean look of
Mm.
your Facebook Live.
Mhm.
That's what you wanted. So now that makes a difference because now I won't put so much focus on this, and this, but let's put more focus on the visual aspect because that's what you want there. So
Gotcha.
it's a catch 22.
Right.
It's a good catch 22. It's still a catch 22. So you got to make sure.
Mhm.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about me. Okay, we're here to talk about you.
That's true.
So
That's true.
first of all, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Where I Come From. It is I, Mr. Tone Deaf. We are back in the building. As you can see, I got bored and changed the studio around again. Um, I'm just get used to it, fam. It's just what I do around here. At the same time, like I tell everybody, we're definitely getting some updates and some upgrades going on here. So just be mindful between now and probably April. You're going to see a lot of changes that's going to randomly happen. I'm not the kind of person who likes to do it all at one time. I'll do it piece by piece and then just remind you what it used to look like. But I am joined today by a very special guest who I met at a Friendsgiving. And first of all, that was my first Friendsgiving going to, so shout out to Britt Nicole. And it had nothing to do with the fact that I just didn't rock with her. It's just, I'm never free. So she'll make her dates and it'd be like, I'm here. Like I can't go. But that particular day, um, I actually said, fuck it. I'm taking off work. Okay. I'm coming to the event. I'm going to be there for my friend. I was the game master that night, so majority of the games that were played that night belonged to me, and
Mhm.
and, and they had a great time because niggas is wild. Okay, I gotta go through my games to see if I got all of them because I think I'm missing one. It's not her fault. It's just I just think I'm missing one. But I am joined by this lovely young lady here because at the game night she definitely brought the fun to the party. And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about what's next up for her. So what I'm going to do is allow you to introduce yourself and what you do.
Oh. Okay, so my name is Takia. I either go by Yanko Peach, Yanko, or just Peach, depending on, whoever's calling me by that
Right.
name.
Right.
What I do is, can I say the word on here?
You could say whatever. This is an uncensored podcast.
Oh, okay, say less. So I make edibles.
Okay.
I make brownies, cookies. I also make juice, and I make fruit, which I just released on New Year's.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you make infused fruit.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
It is.
It's wild. It's wild because that'll probably be the only way some people would get fruits in their diet.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, so crazy, but it's probably true. So what all fruits have you experimented with so far?
So far, pineapples is a really big one.
That's because there's a bunch of freaky ass niggas out here. So I mean, let's keep it a buck.
I mean, that's true.
Let's be honest, but
I tried peaches as well.
okay, how'd that turn out?
Those are the top two.
Okay.
Those are the main ones that keep getting ordered.
Okay.
So, I've tried grapes, so I'll slice them.
Okay.
So that's been an interesting one.
How so? How's that process go? Because grapes don't look like either you got to do it individually, and then you got to watch how much you put in each one, or it's gonna be a big mess.
So usually I slice maybe 20 grapes. So
Okay.
I slice them in half, and then I put them in like either a jar, bowl. Just depends on whatever I have.
Right.
Of course, I use my infusion, my little potion that I use. If people want alcohol with it, I usually put that in it. If they don't want it, I just leave it as just weed infusion, and I let it sit for about a week.
Okay.
So 5 to 7 days.
That's some strong ass grapes.
Hey, they are super good. I'm
not saying they not, because grapes are good by themselves regardless.
Mhm.
Wait, you're telling me that people actually order not only weed infused, but also liquor? Y'all wild.
Giggle juice.
And I was gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's gonna get there. It's definitely gonna get there. It's a cult favorite around here at the TDR. Very first time I had the juice that makes you giggle. Couldn't stop giggling. To sum it up in a nutshell, I damn near was freaking out. But that was my fault because nobody told me that a full cup is not necessary.
Oh, yeah.
Not tell me what was in the juice that makes you giggle. So was not aware. But I'm also a person who I really can't get high no more. So that's more of a testimony to what you had.
Okay.
You did anything. But let's start here from the humble beginning. What made you even start doing this?
So actually the funny story is I had a friend who started in 2020. She used to do infused dinners.
Right.
So I never smoked weed until 2020 happened.
Gotcha.
Let me just go ahead and put that out there. I started getting her dinners, and she'll either make gummies. She hasn't been doing it for a while though.
Okay.
So then it was around the time of her wedding. I wasn't about to ask her to make me some gummies like a couple days before her wedding.
Right.
Like that would be bogus. So another friend of mine actually showed me how to make the weed oil first. That way I could just make cookies, brownies, whatever. Right. So when it came to the juice, it was a year later when I started practicing on the juice. But I'm like, well, oil doesn't mix well with,
anything.
Juices. Yeah.
Right.
So I had to, figure out, okay, let me look online. Let me see. After trial and error, all I needed was, should I say the ingredients?
No.
Okay. I'm not going to say
You figured out what you needed to correct.
I had to.
Okay. That's all we're going to say. Because that's your thing. I don't want nobody to go and be like, ooh, we got the 11 herbs and spices people. Let's get out here and do it. I don't want this is your thing. And I want it to stay that way until you feel like you're ready to share it to the world, or they figure it out on their own. At the end of the day,
exactly,
figure it out on your own. So has it been very profitable for you? Have you gotten to the point where you feel like as soon as they legalize it here in Wisconsin, it's a wrap, it's over, you quitting your job?
I mean, honestly, yeah.
I
If
just
they
want to make sure.
definitely legalize it, then I'm quitting my job. I'm really gonna focus more on this because
Okay.
this is more of a side hustle, if you will. I do want it to be a full time job. I actually like making them.
And that's why I asked that, because I noticed that people who love to cook and experiment with stuff,
Hmm.
they love to do it. So if
Yeah.
they can do it as a career, they usually will.
Hmm.
And I've also noticed that this allows people to tap into their creativity.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, because when I met you, you made the juice, and at the time, the cookies, the cakes, the candy, that's the norm.
Yeah.
Okay, to the point where you wake up and somebody's got a batch somewhere. You don't even have to
Hmm.
work hard for it, but to get it in liquid form or to be able to get it in fruits, like
Yeah.
to have it infused edible arrangement is an epic thing, because that
Hmm.
means you have to know the person to get it for the person, and they would appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
And I can see that as being a repeat thing if they know we can go to you to get it, and people will go to you to get it.
Oh yeah.
Go to you to get it.
Hmm.
And then the juice, like we're we're big juice drinkers.
Yeah.
Plus, you can get away with juice. Let's keep it a buck. You can go to work one day. You know you got that one employee that annoys you. She got your
Man.
Starbucks cup with your juice in it. They don't know.
Oh,
They
exactly.
don't know. They don't know. You're the hardest working person that day, and ain't nothing bothering you, and you just thinking that nope, what's in my cup is in my cup.
Right.
Uh, so besides this, what else do you do?
Well, I do have a day job. Um, I don't know. Should I say that on
That's
here?
up to
Oh,
you.
ooh. Wait.
That's up to you.
Okay. So I will say I do work in the optical field.
Okay.
I do that. So I do pre-tested for eye exams. I'm not going to say
Okay.
where,
No,
but
we won't.
I do that. Um, I will say, HIPAA is definitely a thing. We all know this. But the reactions whenever I do the air pressure test on people is hilarious.
It's because it's, even though it's just air being blown in your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
it happens so fast. It reminds us of being shot, and no one wants to be shot in the eye,
That's understandable.
right? And so I can understand people freaking out, because I think the last time I went and got my eyes checked, and she was gonna tell me it was coming. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead, let's do it, get over it. But
Mm-hmm.
she was taking too long. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was ready. I'm not talking like she was stalling, but like you tell me, okay, we about to do it. I'm like, okay, let me put my face here, boom, do it. No, I don't know what you doing over there on the keyboard, because
Right.
my face is stuck right here, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so when are you gonna shoot this in my eye? And it's like, okay, I'm sick of you. Like let's
Wow.
do this. But no, how did you like? Do you like that job?
I do. It's way different from the other job I had. I used to be in food service for like 10 plus years.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Sorry to
I
hear that.
mean,
No,
it wasn't bad though.
it wasn't bad. Okay, so I have to apologize for that, because I'm a person who's been in customer service for
Hmm.
well over 20 plus years in one shape or form. So whether it was direct sales, indirect sales, phone
Hmm.
representative, customer service, collections, tech support, I've always helped people.
Right.
But the one career field that I never will ever go back to is any form of food service.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's
Hmm.
not a knock on them. I respect them more than anybody else out here, but food is a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's all it takes is one mistake,
Hmm.
and you can ruin a whole situation. You cut a piece of fish wrong and it could kill somebody, or you put too much seasoning in and you can ruin a whole pasta. Like there's so many
Hmm.
little errors. That's why when you started doing this, or when I found out about you doing this, I knew you had to deal with something that had to deal with food on a regular basis,
Hmm.
because that's not something you just easily jump into. And since now you're doing it on a scale that you enjoy, and you know that the people who you're doing it for is enjoying it,
Hmm.
it makes it feel a little bit more special. So by you going into eye care, I definitely feel like this was more so your avenue to get back to what you actually love doing.
Absolutely.
See, I pay attention. I do
Yeah.
all this. I do all this.
Oh yeah.
So what is next for you when it comes to, like, because you got two flavors right here. Let's
I
talk
do.
about this. What we got right here?
Well, I call this one mermaid juice. No, seriously, I call it mermaid juice. But I mean, it has the pineapples and peaches in here,
Okay.
and they're green. I bought some for you to try if you can. If not, it's okay.
I will. I'll be willing to try it. I'm not like that.
Yay, because I definitely brought forks. I definitely. Oh yeah, I can't prepare for this.
Okay. I'm not mad at you. So for those of y'all who know that after I get done with this episode, I'm gonna record the episode of Hostly Awkward. So because I'm not releasing this one anytime soon, if you happen to see me a little bit weird on a recent episode of that show, her fault. Okay.
Not my fault.
Her fault. Her fault. All right.
Okay.
You can open it.
Okay.
So I know you said you did the peaches, you did the pineapples. What
Mhm.
other fruits and grapes? What other fruits are you working with?
I've done pears actually, which is interesting.
How did that work?
I usually use the canned pears since they're already peeled and they got juice in it already.
Is that juice even a good juice to use?
Honestly, yeah.
Okay. The crazy part about it is, people, it's in a glass jar. So if you know anything about weed in glass jars, you know you can't smell shit when they close. So as soon as I opened the jar, the weed hit me. as if someone had a whole bud just sitting in there. So the fact that it's in liquid form and it's still hitting me is wild. Mm-hmm. But I'm only saying that is because you don't taste it in the food, which is good. Because I know that used to be some of the people's biggest things about eating, like the dessert edibles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is you can taste the weed in the actual food, unless the person knew what they were doing with their cooking. So the fact that I don't taste it, but I know it's in there, it's dangerous.
Very, very.
Because that's how you make the mistake of it's like, oh, this is good, or oh, I love pineapple, and you done sat here and then ate a whole goddamn pineapple, where you really should only had about maybe 3 or 4 of them, if that. So definitely good. So by the end of this episode, if you see me tweaking, it's her fault. Remember that.
Definitely.
But no, that was actually pretty good. I like the fact that you could still tell that it's weed, but you can't taste it. Would definitely make it more workable for a lot of people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
In regards to that, what's in that jar?
So this one is just juice. It has it's what is it? Strawberry, lemonade, raspberry, and a little bit of cranberry juice.
That's not what you brought to the party.
Oh, yes, it is.
Are you sure? Because there was one.
This one, no.
Yeah, I'm saying.
This one, no.
That's not the one you brought to the party. Because you had me at strawberry lemonade right away. So I know I would have drunk that whole bottle by myself.
Oh yeah.
So what all? Because I know you said you did the pears. What all flavors? Like when you do the juices, do you go out and you get like Minute Maid juices and then you use it on top of it, or do you find specific fruits and flavors and combine them on your own? Like, do you make the choices of the flavors that all go together?
It's a bit of both. Sometimes I'll even use Calypsos, to be honest.
Right, and that's what. Because when I was looking at the jar, I was like, that's a familiar jar.
Oh yeah, definitely. Right. I'll use that. Sometimes I'll use, those little drink mixes and stuff you get from wherever. I use those. It just really depends on whatever the customer tells me that they want or what flavor. Okay. Or I ask them, like, do you want a color or do you want a custom mix? If they do a custom mix, that's when I come to play and I just mix whatever comes to mind. So it could be blue, it could be red.
I was going to say, because I'll take me a good blue raspberry in a heartbeat.
Listen, I can make that happen.
For real. Me and the blue raspberry will go far. We'll definitely go far. So let's get down to the nitty gritty.
All right.
Let's talk prices.
All right.
First of all, how do we get a hold of you when we want to purchase them? And second, well, I got connections. I don't know about you, but you got to find her on her website. No, I'm just kidding. So when it comes to cost, like how much are you like? How much would this be compared to that? And like, what made you come up with your pricing scale?
So for just this one, since it's a 16 ounce, I charge $60, but this is only this is the one with the alcohol in it.
Okay.
If it's a 16 ounce and it's just weed infused, then it's about $45.
Okay.
And I feel like it's a good price. I mean, it's a lot going in there. That's already one thing. And plus, I'm the one that also has to taste test, which is the fun part of my job. I get to taste test.
So basically, what she's telling you, she's probably higher drunk 24/7. Guaranteed this is why this happiness on her face
Mm-hmm.
is probably because she just got done doing the batch earlier.
I did.
But no. So you said this one actually had alcohol in there too, right?
Yes.
What did you have in there?
You really want to know that
I
one?
tasted a little tequila in there. Am I
That's
wrong?
not tequila.
It was a vodka.
No.
What's in there?
Everclear.
See, first of all, you gonna give me the good. Just kidding.
Now
No.
you see why I did the prices like that.
No, but it makes sense, and that's why I was asking that question
Mhm.
because if you got alcohol, you got weed, you got fruit, you got regular juices, you got your own, labor in regards to it. $60 is actually a great deal when you do the math.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you do a couple of shots of this, you're still gonna be good in one shape or form. So that means the $60 lasts way longer than a blunt would.
Oh, definitely.
You see what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
And that's why I wanted to ask that because you're giving a lot of people something to just get the party started.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Without having to do much. So to me, honestly, you would be somebody who anytime I want to have an event, I would definitely make sure I give you a call because whether I do just a weed only or I do
Mhm.
combo pack, as I like to call it now,
Mhm.
I know I'm going to get my money's worth out of it.
Definitely.
All right. So what about the juice only situation over here?
So the juice only, if it's the 16 ounce, I started raising the price a little bit for 25 if it has alcohol. If it doesn't have any alcohol, I usually sell them for about 18.
What about by the gallons?
By the gallon, see, that one is 45 with the weed, but if it has alcohol, that one's 60.
The reason why I bring that up is because that's how we got introduced. We literally had a gallon at the party, and I don't think nobody drunk anything else but water. And even then, those were questionable things in regards to it. But one, I'm proud of you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
You took something that is common for people
you.
in stuff like that, and you turned it into something that will grow into a business because I give about a year, it's going to be legalized here in Wisconsin, and you already got a whole entire business model that's already a heads up. So all you would need is a good distribution center.
Yeah,
You wouldn't even need a distribution center. You just need a dispensary and 2 bars.
man.
And I know some people with bars, so we could probably make that happen too.
Okay.
We just need to get it legal.
Right. That's the only thing we're waiting on. That's it.
So what's next for you?
That's a good question. I don't know.
No, you're supposed to always know what's next. As a creative, you're always supposed to have an idea that you want to try next, whether or not you see yourself pulling the trigger on it anytime soon.
Well, the only reason why I said I don't know is because even with this, I was never even expecting this to even come about.
Okay.
I have tried ice cream.
Interesting.
I'm still working on that part.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm still
Wow.
working on that.
Wow.
I think ice cream might be next.
How would that work? Don't even tell me.
I won't.
Just don't tell me. Don't tell me. Just let me just inbox me and just say Eureka, so I know you figured it out.
I definitely
so
will.
I can order mines. I'm gonna have to do it personal because the minute my kids find out there's ice cream in the fridge, they might. I don't want that. I don't want that. But I think you onto something. So,
because even with the juice, this is the thing. I didn't do the juice until a year after I started making cookies and brownies. Because I mean, cookies and brownies are easy to make. Cakes are real easy to make.
Right, all that's easy.
But juice, it was like, I wonder because I don't want to eat cookies and brownies all the time.
Right.
Let me try some juice. This took a year, trial and error. This only took about 4 months. And the only reason why I'm like, okay, if I come out with the fruit, can you imagine how many people want to sit here and get fruit and you can make slushies, you could drink the juice after you're done with the fruit. It's so many things you could do with it. So I wanted to create something that could be utilized in multiple ways. So ice cream, yeah.
That's definitely gonna be interesting there.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that. I'm definitely ready for that. Then you bring up the fact about the slushies.
Mm-hmm.
You can even mix them in your smoothie.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine a weed smoothie? Oh my God.
I already thought about all that.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Beautiful thing. But don't want to keep you here any much longer. but you definitely got to come back. I definitely have some events coming up shortly.
Yes.
So you will be receiving group texts and
Oh
phone
yeah.
calls in regards to what we will need in regards to that. But how can people find you when they want to make their own orders?
Um, Facebook is the easiest way to find me.
Okay.
Um, let's see. I do have menus, so it has my number on there. So
Okay.
depending on whoever messages me about prices, whatever, Facebook is probably the best way to get to me.
Gotcha.
hmm So I'm trying to think. How would I? Can I put it on screen? Is there a way to put it on screen or?
I'll make sure that it's in the information when it
Okay,
drops.
that works.
So just send me the flyer and then I'll make sure it's
hmm
there so they can see it in regards to it.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
it is great to have you here. I know we
It
tried
was
to do this
lovely.
before.
I know.
But this is my business pod. So, when you're here, it's in. You're good. Like I said, for to be on Where I Come From podcast, you just got to be from where I come from.
Right.
And you are a resident of Milwaukee, which makes it perfect. So we're definitely gonna have you back. And whatnot. So make sure you guys check us out on all streaming platforms. That's Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Make sure you look for her on Facebook. You got to try this. I'm just saying. It's having a rough day. Just drink some of this, and I guarantee you won't care. Okay?
I promise.
And it's 100% natural, so it's of the earth.
Of the earth.
Of the
I mean,
earth.
that's true.
It is true.
That's true.
All right, but we about to get up out of here, people. See y'all later, though. Peace.